Hello and welcome to class. I'd like to talk to you today some about responsibility and what you are going to be doing with your gifts as you develop, and how to access having the best emotional and mental state that you can have to grow your gifts in the most beneficial way. So responsibility is a key factor, and I want to start off sharing some information from the book. It's about the attitude of responsibility. When you're as a young child, you display an attitude of dependence. You are very dependent, and that's rightfully so. All the things you learn require acceptance, trusting that your parents and your older brothers and sisters and other people of authority are correctly guiding you. So you have to assume that what you're being taught as a young child is correct. You trust and you accept. And as you grow older and become a teenager, then you instinctively change your attitude to one of independence. It can be difficult to know when to trust and when to show your lack of knowledge. This display of independence or challenge of authority can often get you into trouble, even though it's the most logical direction in your growth. This change of attitude continues until you're mature enough to know when it is all right to challenge and when you are expected to be dependent. Because even though you're an adult, there are times when you don't know what to do, or you don't know the correct direction, and that's when you seek knowledge from somebody else. By the time you become an adult, you have gained knowledge and proper respect for those of greater knowledge. You know when to trust your own abilities and when to seek help and guidance. Becoming spiritually mature requires a giant leap of faith. And I'm not talking about a child or an adult now. I'm talking about becoming spiritually mature. Along with that faith comes the realization that you are capable of making good, sound decisions. Having a responsible attitude is to know you are ready for Spirit to move you toward the right decisions. So it's very similar to being a young child and growing into teenage years and then on into maturity as a human being. But growing yourself spiritually requires that same leap of faith, coming to a point where you act independently and you're able to start making decisions. Some of them will be wrong, some of them will be right, but you'll get a good feel for how you've made those decisions and why they were right or wrong. Growing in spirituality and psychic abilities requires the same learning process as growing from childhood to the teen years and on into adulthood. By the time you have matured to adulthood, spiritually speaking, you have learned how to trust in your own abilities. Now, many of us still have this tendency to mistrust what comes through psychically or through mediumship. And I think that's a human trait. It's not something that we can just overcome, but we can honor it and move forward with it. Testing and making sure that what you're receiving is correct. With knowledge comes responsibility. Being spiritually mature involves great responsibility. Psychic readers are responsible for the information they share with their clients. To assist their clients properly, they need to be educated and mature enough in their spirituality to be a responsible source of information and service. Whenever you are touching in someone else's energy field, that is a great and awesome responsibility. And it's not to be taken lightly. It needs to be taken by a mature, spiritually evolved person. And that's what I know you are striving for and working towards. And I appreciate what you have been doing. So there's no excuse for wrong action. You aren't the child you used to be, spiritually speaking. You have been given access to wisdom. You must use it correctly. Now is the time to adopt the attitude of responsibility. By your attitude, you assume a position. The attitude of responsibility implies that you are capable of adult action. As you grow in spirituality and develop your intuition and psychic abilities, you realize the importance of your gift. This gift is meant to be used in love and to uplift everyone that you come into contact with. So, does this make any sense to you right now? For some reason, I was drawn to share that in this particular lesson. Part of being responsible, spiritually speaking, is knowing when to stop. Knowing when to say, that's enough now. Knowing when to say, I need time for myself. Make sure that you're not just running yourself ragged in any other part of your life, whether that's your career path, whether that's your health, whether that's dealing with family issues, trying to keep your house in perfect condition. Those things are not always important if it's robbing you of your own personal energy. And if those things are taking your energy away and leaving you low on a battery, low batteries, you can't progress in your development in your psychic abilities. And when you sit for your development meditation, you may tend to go to sleep because you're that exhausted. So you're robbing yourself of your development as well. So be sure that you're not doing too much in every aspect of your life. Take time to recoup. Take time to recharge. Take time to release stress. So I want to propose an idea for this month. Let's assume that you are sitting with your development meditation 3 times a week. Now, it might be more than that, might be once or twice, and I know it's according to how you're able to do that. But let's assume that it's 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Let's say on meditation this time for development, you still take the appointment, you still schedule yourself for meditation, but sit and read for an hour instead, a book that you've been wanting to read, or listen to some quiet restorative music, or sit and clear out a drawer in your bedroom and throw away some unusable things, some trash, or donate some things out of that drawer. and reorganize it. Spend it for me time. Or you can use a type of meditation for stress release. That's where you don't go as deeply into meditation, but you just sit quietly and breathe. Don't even try to focus on any excuse me, any one thing. But the other 2 nights, Wednesday and Friday, if those are the nights that you meditate for development, then go ahead and follow through with those. But just give yourself a break. Just have some other time that is just for you. We tend to think that more is better, and so we keep pushing ourselves to do more and more and more, especially in development. I know when I was first sitting in classes, I was doing the meditation, the development meditation every night, every night, and I did progress very quickly. But what I'm proposing to you now is don't try to push yourself. Just for this month. For some reason, September is important to just be and not have to push. So, one night each week, don't develop. And your mind is going to automatically kind of go in that direction. You may have to keep some water next to you, or maybe don't sit in that regular position that you do for your development, but just sit in a straight chair, or do something different. Have a different position, because it's going to be important for you to not do your meditation that time. There's going to come a time this month when you're going to feel like setting guidelines with your spirit guides, and the other 2 nights that you're meditating for development would be good times to do that. Have some conversations with your guides during your quiet time, and come to an understanding of what you're expecting from them and what they're expecting from you, and how they'll be assisting you, and how you can call on them at certain times, or how you don't want to be open all the time. That's one of my big things. I don't want to be open unless I initiate it. Of course, unless it's something important for my safety, then I want to know what's going on. But to be talking to spirit guides all day long, all the time, I feel like I'm missing my third dimensional life if I do that. But that's a personal decision, so I don't want to instruct you not to do that. But this month is going to be important to have conversations with your guides and realize that you are in control of your development. That's one reason why I'm wanting you to kind of slow down this month. Just have that conversation with your guides and say, we're going to do something a little different. Ponder those thoughts. See what opens up for you. And I'm looking forward to talking to you at the
interactive discussion later on this month. Thanks.